Hello YouTube, and welcome to the next step in my Girls Last Tour journey. We are reacting to Volume 5 of the manga. So a couple of things right off the bat. If you're watching this and you haven't seen my anime reaction series, where I go through episodes 1 through 12 of Girls Last Tour, the anime by Studio White Fox, among other people, I guess, you should go do that, because it's going to be largely informed by that series. I don't know how else you would come across this video, but just covering my bases, you should go back. This is in a playlist, and yeah, you can catch up to where I am. Because yeah, this is my first step into the manga stuff, like ever. On the channel, I've read manga before, but not like this, not in front of people, not Girls Last Tour. So I'm an anime fan going into that. I just want to get that out of the way, I guess, because otherwise this video will be kind of weird just starting off at Volume 5. So yeah, now that's out of the way, I guess sorry for the break last week, everybody. Just kind of something had to give there. Work was railing me, the channel was railing me. I can only get railed so many times before I need to have a lie down. But we're back, and we're feeling very refreshed, ready to do some manga reacting, baby. But I guess the first things first, before I jump into all the other specifics, here's the YouTube comments. I don't know why they're not loading, but sure. I thought I would go through these, just kind of the thoughts coming off the 3-episode extravaganza, the finale to the anime stuff of Girls Last Tour. First comment here from Fosu. Hype for the manga reaction. TK Miz. I'm struggling with that one. Their art is second to none, and some of the best chapters in the last 2 volumes. I've got to experience the art firsthand because I've gone and read the manga from the start to like where it is now. So I'm refreshed on everything, and I've got that kind of manga under my belt. I guess it's a pretty faithful adaptation. Like, not much is different at all. We basically cover every chapter. Unless I'm forgetting something right now, which I could, because I've kind of been doing it over the course of the week. I'll say the manga's seemingly more brief, but again, it's a show with a lot of blank space, so there's not going to be like a ton of dialogue we're missing out on, if you know what I mean. We're kind of using everything we have there, plus some more. As I said before, there was a couple changes I did like, and a couple that I wasn't so crazy about. The one that's sticking out to me is, you know the chapter with the bath? To my knowledge, they don't do the part where she like balances the gun on her shoulder, which was one of the best parts about that skit, in my opinion, from the anime. So I don't know why you wouldn't include that. That felt like it was necessary. Either way, I digress. I don't really want to talk about that stuff too much. I want to dive into the new stuff. Either way, next comment here, Ice CP. The Mushroom People plot is kind of weird, IMO. It feels like it doesn't fit into the story, and it's probably the only part of the series I don't adore. It's not outright bad, though. It just feels like it's kind of forced in to add tension into a series that doesn't need tension. I see both sides on this. I thought it was really cool, for the record. I thought it was unique for a kind of finale for the TV anime stuff, in that it actually did have tension. I thought that that's what gave the finale a little bit of stakes. Where again, it's a weird show to try to end, you know. I thought they did a very good job of making the season itself, even though it's not completed like a story complete. I thought they did a good job of making the anime feel complete. I could walk away from that experience feeling pretty satisfied. And I think that's because of stuff like this, the kind of tension with the Mushroom People towards the end. But then again, I've talked so much about how Girls Last Tour doesn't fall into traditional story guidelines, right? It's playing a little bit fast and loose. It's even dismissive of the concept of story and the concept of tension entirely. The concept of conflict-based storytelling. It's almost incongruous to what it has going on sometimes. So again, I could see both sides. Just personally, it didn't rub me the wrong way. Next comment here, Raymond Yoshimoto. Little known fact, there's an official manga about another universe and where they're living in the modern world. Yuri and Chito are uni students, and potentially implied that they have romantic feelings. Which is, I think I talked about it briefly last week, or the week before, I should say. There was a scene, I'm trying to remember, where they were kind of, you know, that way inclined, like they're together forever type beat. But again, like, I don't know, unless that becomes canon, then it's kind of a weird thing to talk about in such a show. Yeah, the modern world thing is weird because I've seen like a ton of art of them in like school uniforms and like other stuff. So I don't know. Maybe there's just a ton of art of them like that, or maybe this is from this official manga that we're talking about here. Next comment here from, I'm going to try Jarko Javinen, I'm going to say. And I don't know why YouTube's being fucking weird today. Anyway, hopefully I didn't butcher your name too hard. For the manga, I recommend the official Yen Press ebook release. The old fan scanlation is mostly fine, but the scan is not high resolution and some of the environmental text remain untranslated. I don't know what I have. I'm sure somebody will tell me after this video, but I'm kind of just going to rock with it for now. It seems official, what I have, and it seemingly has like everything, and everything's translated, and it's all fine and dandy and stuff. I just kind of torrented it, so again, I do not know, and I haven't gotten anybody to check for me, which is probably something I could have done, but I digress. I was being a little bit lazy. Next comment here, I Senso Alpha. Yeah, nuclear energy is basically just running all the time. In nuclear plants, they can shut it off, but it's an involved process. Though nuclear subs, from what I understand, will run for 30 or 40 years, maybe. I don't know how long this one is supposed to be running for. Maybe it's using better nuclear tech, which is what I would have thought. Basically. The Voyager spaceship they sent out has nuclear power as well. It's been running for nearly 50 years at this point. The montage part is great, and I love watching it every time. That was another part the manga is a little bit kind of weird on. It doesn't really have such a montage. It's a little bit lower resolution. It doesn't really go into all the different things that we saw. It's a little more specific. Yeah, kind of just gets straight to the point of the we feel less lonely part, which is cool. It's a little more subtle, but the editing in that, the montage in particular, along with the music, I thought was excellent. From episode 12, it really elevated the anime content, I think. I think I'm leaning more towards the anime being the better way of experiencing at least the first part of the story right now, so again, the manga has its charms, but I wasn't as crazy about it. Maybe it's because it was the second one I saw as opposed to the first. Maybe I'd have different opinions if I went the other way. I generally do about stuff like that. The mushroom aliens saying as far as they know, Chi and you are the only living humans left is pretty scary, so it sort of implies that Kanazawa and Ishii died at some point. Potentially. I don't know if the mushroom people can like communicate super well between everybody all the time. Maybe they can, but I mean, if we don't see them again, you could just assume this. I don't know. I think they're the only humans left. We're going to have to see. I've got a whole volume to read today, so again, we'll see. But yeah, despite it all, Chi and you just enjoy life for what it is, right? The series as a whole is depressing and sad on the surface, but pretty hopeful and optimistic just slightly below the surface. You could call it bittersweet, but I would say it's more sweet than bitter most of the time. There's some sad parts. I like the part with like the waveforms. That was pretty good, and like the red light. Good chapter or chapter. Good anime episode. You know what I'm talking about. But most of the time, it just makes me happy to watch it. So that's good. I'm looking forward to being happy today whilst reading. Or maybe I won't be. Next comment here today, Vought. Ah man, this show. I wish I could put the feelings it invokes in me into words, but I can't. Bittersweet comes close. It's like sad happy. Nothing anyone does, you, Chi, or anyone they meet, really has any meaning. Everyone, even the robots, know the world is ending, and they just keep trucking along, finding meaning in the small things. Even if there's no meaning to life, there are nice things sometimes. I think those words are worth remembering from time to time. It is similar to this is this, which encapsulates a certain kind of acceptance or resignation to one's situation or what you have. This is, sure, in Japanese. I cannot read. Well, I can read, I'm lazy. Happy you're doing the manga, by the way. The anime is great, but the manga is even better, in my opinion. Gives you time to ponder. Looking forward to it. Again, I'll talk about the setup I have for the manga stuff in a second, and we'll talk about its advantages and disadvantages. Next comment here from I May Tag. They're actually sitting in its chest. That's where the cockpit is, and the laser comes from the eye. Is there significance there? I don't know. It's shaped like a human, and the laser comes from the head, and maybe it represents human ingenuity and its incredible power or whatever, but the command to use it comes from its heart, which is subject to the whims of human emotion and rationality. I mean, it was you pulling the trigger after all. I love this comment. I think this is great. So I think it talks to a conflict between the head and the heart, if we're going to be that cheesy. Where, again, the decision, most likely the violent decision, the trigger, comes from the emotional side, which, again, is what we largely talk about through a lot of it. I think there's an implied war of scarcity or something to that effect through the montage, or implied from before. Not understanding different groups of people, being prejudiced, lack of empathy, blah, 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 this leading to war. That definitely correlates to the whole heart idea, I think. So yeah, just another lens to the, I guess, death robot stuff that I didn't consider before, which I thought was pretty cool. And the last comment here today from Eben. This will be the first time doing the manga on the channel. Hopefully the change of format doesn't create problems. It already kind of has, but we'll get into it. Speaking of the manga doesn't have any colored pages. The sunset scene is one of those times where the anime elevates the source material. The same goes for the duality of man montage with Chopin in the background. So yeah, we don't really have the full animated montage as we imply here. Another part where I thought color could have done some good work was, the part where they're doing the washing and it's like they're contrasting the sky and the ocean and the blue there. I thought, again, the color of the anime really did that justice. I'm very happy the anime isn't overtly colorful all the time either. I feel like that would take something away from what the manga has going on. I think, yeah, it's kind of dreary black and white, grayscale color scale. It kind of helps in that regard, right? It helps convey the themes that this is kind of dying. Vibrant colors wouldn't really go along with that, I don't think. You know what would be cool? Girls Last Tour movie. I reckon that would be cool. Anyway, we're going to read some more manga here in a second, and I'm going to talk about how I'm going to structure this. Hello, hi. This is volume 5 of Girls Last Tour, everybody, by Suku Mizu. TK Miz, whatever we're calling the mangaka. And there's the front cover. I don't really have much to tell you. I think the green's interesting, and of course, I can talk about the art right now and how it looks like it's like doodled on a page, right? It looks like something that somebody just kind of threw together, and I think that adds to the charm a lot. The shading in particular reminds me a lot of the ED, which I think makes sense considering that it's based on the manga art. Haphazard, a little bit not as meticulous and thought out as other manga that I've read. Compare this to your shonen absolute budget fests. Like, this is a different tone for sure. I guess I could get rid of a little bit of this stuff. Hang on. Yeah, maybe bring that down a little bit. That's a little bit more professional, sure. Speaking of professional, I still kind of don't know how I'm going to do this. So my main problem is I've seen people get away with doing manga reactions such as this before, and they just kind of go through the manga and it's fine. And then on the other side, there's people who's had to take down videos and all that kind of shit because of just putting the manga up on screen. Again, I've pirated this. You're meant to spend money on it. I understand that I can't show you the images, even though you know how to find the images, but I can't show them to you. What I think I'm going to do is record the version like this. I'm going to record it like this so I can put it up on BitChute if I'm not allowed to just put this straight on YouTube, right? If that's the case, you'll see a big old Girls Last Tour something here, right? And you won't get me, mousing over stuff and reading stuff and blah, 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 blah. But as a result, there'll still be a picture-in-picture version, and you can click on it in BitChute at your leisure. I guess the other part of this is I feel way less qualified to talk about manga from a structural and analytical point of view than I do anime, right? Again, my background here was in film, not comics, right? I've seen 300 anime, maybe, something like that, probably more. I've read 20 manga, 30 manga, so I'm way less behind there, or way more behind, I should say. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if this is going to be enjoyable content for somebody that's a bit of a manga connoisseur. I know this is pretty well regarded in the manga world, so I don't know. But again, there's a lot of qualifiers for something I haven't even kind of done yet. The other thing I'm going to do is probably read it aloud, right? Because that's how I process information. That's a lot of my analysis portions as well, rereading subs and then thinking about it. So probably just going to do that anyway. But obviously I'm not going to do like voices because I have no talent. I have no talent for such a thing. And I think it'll be cringy and bad. So everyone's going to have the same voice and it's going to be my voice. Either way, I'm kind of rambling and I want to kind of just jump in. So we're going to do that. I don't really have an official reader either. The other part is I wanted kind of a page number in the corner. Maybe I can put like a page number down here. Actually, that's a good idea. I should do that. There, okay. So no matter what happens, we're still going to be able to get like a page number, potentially, if it'll show up. There's spoilers for page 1, but 3, 4, 3, 4. So that way you can kind of tag along, but it won't be like showing everybody everything. There, okay, so now I've got that little portion there, so we can check numbers if we want to. Make it a little bit bigger too. Cool. So we're officially ready, I think. We're going to dive into Volume 5. Again, when I was reading this casually, I went through this pretty quickly, so we're going to see if the similar thing will happen here. So another thing, I'm going to skip past this contents page, because I think it's way funner if I don't know the chapter titles until they show up. So here we are, the next official part of Girls' Last Tour after the end of the anime. We see both Chi and Yu sitting in a tuna can that says sakana on it, so it's some kind of canned fish. Again, I just said tuna, but it's probably not tuna. This will be, I'm imagining, chapter 33, Waterway. We have, I'm imagining, Yu singing or humming to herself, a quick little ditty about food, the wheels of the Kettencrud going, hey, is it time for food yet? Not yet. Hey, is it time for food yet? Then we'll have Chi replying, not yet. I want to eat this already, don't go eating it without permission. A big old can of tuna, big old can of fish. We've had previous stuff in the show about eating fish, so again, just seeing where this goes. Mass-produced fish food. But we sure are lucky we found lots of food in that black building. Did that mystery creature do something to unlock all those doors? The mystery creature here being implied to be the mushroom person. Back in that black building, is that the sub? Potentially. That black building, what was that anyway? They called it a ship. What was a ship again? It's something that goes in the ocean, which we were curious about earlier in the series as well. And it wasn't really a ship, it was a submarine, but, you know, it's semantics, it doesn't really matter. Hey, what about our food? Okay, here's what we'll do. We're almost out of water. Once we've drawn water, we'll stop for a break and food. That being Chi to Yu, and then Yu says, "K, but..." And we're left on bated breath going over to the next page. Where are we going to find water? There's plenty of ice, but... Well, here's the thing, right? You can't, like, eat the ice because it's, like, dirty. You would need to, like, boil it and then do that. I think that's how it works. You're not supposed to, like, eat snow. Oh, we kind of talk about this here, right? There's plenty of ice around, and then Yu's being a little bit funny. Chi, do you know what ice is made of? Are you making fun of me? Yes, we can get water from melting ice, but fuel for warming up is precious too. So again, when you're out in the snow, right, you're not supposed to be taking in that cold of a liquid, right? Because it burns your energy, which you're supposed to use on, you know, to keep your body okay. I'm imagining this is like some kind of survival situation, and you're not supposed to eat the ice. Let's get that out of the way now. Okay, we're gonna use human piss. We're gonna use human piss to melt the ice. Is what we'll use to melt the ice. And then, yeah, no, we can't do that. It'll mix with the water. Full Bear Grylls style. You don't want to be drinking your own pee if you don't have to. I like this constant frame we have going on with you in the background, just trying to explain stuff as we have Chi tototoring along in the Kettencrud, just making sure we keep moving. Like, she's doing the job and you're just being annoying. Devil on one side of the shoulder, maybe. Enough already. Keep your mouth shut and your eyes peeled for a place that might have water. Then we have probably a dejected Yu saying, okay, not that I'm expecting your mind to come up with anything. Geez, you're always so quick to make fun of me. Whoa, I wonder what's going to happen. Bated breath again, we really want to go to that next page. We've screeched to a halt though, so we've braked. Seemingly there's some kind of chasm. The other thing here that I'm looking at is... I don't know what this is. and the art's, again, very haphazard. But again, that's the style. So either way, there's a chasm. We're going to have to go back a little bit. Gotcha ka-chunk. Sure. That's a good enough sound effect. This is almost pretty good because you have one party facing one way and one party facing the other. It should be pretty easy to reverse correctly, but it seems like we're running into a bit of trouble where we're going to run into the back of whatever this is. Oh, I was mistaken. We're backing up to the point and we're going to use it as a bridge to get across, and kind of like a tunnel. It's a big old pipe. We've gone through a lot of pipes in this show, but kind of like the Mario Brothers if you think about it. Imagining Yu is suggesting, couldn't we go through that to get across? Looks like we could. It's a little bit of a bump, but it's doable. And we're going to ka-chunk our way through. Thrum. Goon. Oh my god, don't goon, that's bad. Okay, now we've zoomed out a little bit. What is this? Okay, and then this as well. It's all very It's kind of like the architecture of this strata is strange from memory. Remember all the like the windmills and stuff? This big chasm looks like it isn't natural. It looks like it's always been there. And then whatever this is as well, some kind of silo, some kind of tower. This looks like a giant trident or something. It's a bit weird too. Apparently you hears something? I can't really see anything in the sound effects that would make me think there's something weird happening. But something's amiss for you right now. We're telling Chi-chan to stop, huh, what, and then listen. What are we listening to? A todorororo trickle. Some kind of trickle. It's coming from below. Really get a sense of scale here, much like the anime where, you know, these things are pretty big and we're constantly looking up. This one at least seems like it's in daylight, which is nice. Seems like it's the sound of water and it's coming from deep down, but it looks like we can make it. Oh yeah, of course, we were looking for water. I'm stupid. Okay, so there's water deep down in this trench, right? Wasn't this called, like, Waterfall or something? Or Waterworks? Waterway. There we go. And of course, Yu is only interested in finding the water in so much that it leads to her being able to eat. So that's why she's kept an ear out the entire time. So first we're going to try to get to the edge, then I'd imagine we're going to try to climb down and find wherever this water is. I guess this is a part that I've kind of underrated in the anime that I really think comes through in the manga, at least the stuff I've read. The tactile nature of everything they kind of do, like we get a pretty detailed sequence here with the panels where they're climbing, right? So, you know, like tie the rope to the thing and then make our way down. You obviously a little bit more physically capable than Chi. Coming down, pressing to the thing, little high five at the end. You can clearly, like, it would be a dream to animate, is my point. It's very clear what the parties are doing at each time, and like, listen, this could be a whole sequence, them kind of trying to climb down this thing. This could be like a full 30 seconds. It gives you some creative license whilst also being a good guide as to what to animate. Specifically, we've come to the bottom of this kind of outcropped part. Again, I'm unsure what this is still. These almost look like gates that would stop the water. Maybe this is their like future waterways, right? Like, this would be their sewer system. This would be their way of getting water to each kind of area. At least that's what I think right now, anyway. As a result, has the water, like, dammed up here, maybe? And these would be open and shut as needed? I don't know, potentially. At long last, the time is finally here. Sure. So we're filling up our tank with the water that's flowing past, and Yu is cracking open the can of tuna, looking pretty happy with herself. A little bit smug, a little bit chuffed. We like that. As always, we have Yu enjoying the spoils whilst Chi actually does the work, so good stuff. Hey, what do you think this says? If you read it the same as the picture, or if you read it the same as the picture, maybe fish. Yeah, sakana is fish, but it seems kind of long for fish. Then what do you think it says? I bet I know. I'm full of yummy fish. Not quite. Again, I don't really have context for the world, but I'm imagining this, again, just says sakana, right? Wasn't there a bunch of stuff in English too? Because, again, this doesn't look like it's been, like, typed out, if you know what I mean, right? So, this is English? They're reading English right now, and that's why they're confused? Because, again, Chi can read at least some Japanese, their weird mangled version of it. We're opening it up. It doesn't have much of a smell. Okay. Normally fish is quite smelly. I'm not particularly fond of canned fish, so I'm definitely not the target demo here for sure. We're going to heat the fish on the stove. I bet it'll taste better warm. Probably? Again, I'm not well versed. I'm imagining this is you just making like weird meme sounds as well. Apparently you can smell it now once we've cooked it. Again, they have experience cooking fish from, again, the one where they clean their clothes. The one with the big old pipe of water. So yeah, it's kind of harkening back to that. Of course, they'll know what cooked fish smells like. Fish, again, been a pretty constant thing through the show. I guess this is what convinces both parties here that it actually is fish as well. So it really is fish after all, says Chi. It's pretty warm now. Little chuckle. Okay, here it goes. Oomph. We're going to say oomph. And then a little laugh again. What's so funny? It's so good it makes you laugh. Then, you know, Chi has a little bite as well. I like this frame. She's got like tears in her eyes as well. It's obviously emotional for you. It seems like Chi is in agreement that it is so good that it makes you hee hee. It makes you laugh in pleasure, I guess. I think we can imply that it's become nighttime through here as well, now that we look at the kind of roof. The roof? Again, are they in a spot that has like open sky yet, or is there still like another strata? It's unclear. The people of old had it good. Do you think they ate food like this all the time? I don't know about that. It could have been precious back then too. Like potatoes have been their staple food, potatoes are yummy too. Okay, so it depends on where you're going back to. I'd imagine some of these people, when they were fighting in that war where like 1 billion people died, then, a can of fish would have been a precious snack. But, I mean, I can buy a can of fish for like 90 cents. So it's not too precious. And yeah, for the record, I like potatoes as well. So shout outs to potatoes. Look, Chi-chan, what are you doing? Float the can in water like this, let it go, and see, it looks like the fish is swimming. Okay, so we've got the kind of waterway that we're using. We're putting the floating can on it, and it makes the fish look like it's going for a bit of a dip. We did that with the bones last time, didn't we? Like when we cooked the fish in the big pipe, we threw the bones in the water and then watched it like float away. It's kind of morbid, but sure. Come on, there's no point in making a can swim. I thought we were having like a good time. Come on, Chi, you've been a bit of a downer. Ah, ship. I just remembered a ship is a vehicle that floats on water. Then that black building was a vehicle that floats on water? Maybe. Goes one step further, it floats on water and can dive underneath water and kind of, control itself. It's pretty epic. We love submarines. How do vehicles that float in water go in the direction they want to? Fucking beats me, I don't know. Some of them use sails, some of them use propellers. Some way to get where they want to go. We can't afford to just float with the current either. We're heading for the highest stratum. Yeah, then how do we get to that highest stratum? The lift on the city's northwest edge, west of here, can take you to just short of the highest stratum. Okay, thank you, Mushroom Lady. Looks like this waterway runs east to west. We should follow it for a little while. We'll feel safe having water. Does this mean we'll be going after those cans? It'd be so much easier if we could just float with the current too. All you do is ride in the back. Hardy, hardy, ha. So yeah, I was right. This does seem like some kind of canal. And the water is kind of running this way, so we're kind of just going to follow the waterway, right? If it runs from east to west, and again, we're looking for something west of here on the northwest edge, we're going to be following the current. So this is where we get a little bit of philosophy, right? We're not just floating through life, we still have a target in mind, right? It may be easy in the context of everything to say, there's nothing here for us, right? We're just kind of vibing. It's just pure slice of life. But no, there is a goal. We are flowing with purpose, right? We are going to get to a destination at some point. There will be a conclusion. That's what I'm getting from this so far. And we're going to be doing these kind of little end of chapter, little dealies, little doodles. Climbing this is going to be rough too. Oh yeah, getting the water up out of the ditch. Okay, yeah, sure. So you've got rope and you've tied it to the water, and then obviously somebody has to like tow it up, and then yeah, cool. Difficult sounds like, but yeah, it is true that you will feel safer like following the water. You'll always have that water to rely on, and I don't know. Lots of civilizations have built around water for ages. It's an essential human thing. We kind of need water, so build your house around it. Moving into chapter 34 here, we have it looks like a bit of a nurse you and a injured Chi. I wonder if one of them's going to get hurt here. Would potentially be implied by our little cover page here. We're seemingly following the structure of about every 20 pages it's a new chapter. So again, should be doing about 8 chapters here today. We'll say. This is already run kind of long. Okay, what am I looking at? We're still kind of following this canal thing, right? Chi-chan! And there's some exclamation. Oh no. Maybe a bit of rushing water here, a bit of a waterfall. And yeah, the chapter is called Injury. Potentially something falling on Chi-chan, because there's a bit of a clatter, and then the bunch of rubble just falls. It kind of reminds me of that one skit where kind of all that shit fell, and then they found like the murder robot. That was pretty cool. We have you calling out for Chi-chan, crying out about her ankle. I like how scrunched up this face is too. That's pretty epic. You okay? I don't think it's broken at least. Erg? It's pretty bad. It does look painful actually. It looks there's a pretty delineated injury there, right? It's not something that you can kind of walk off. It probably needs some attention, I would think. A pretty heavy sprain or strain. We have the ever curious you poking the injury, resulting in a scream of pain, you would say, then knock it off, and then an equal scream of pain when she pulls Yu's hair. As always with the relationship, they mend it pretty quickly, lending an arm, letting her get weight off the injury. Won't be able to drive like this, though. Interesting. Maybe we'll want to get some Yu driving stuff. That'll be a bit weird. What do we do? Rest here? No. It'll be at least a few days before it's healed, and it's not safe to stop where there was just a collapse. Very true. We'll need to move at least a little bit further away. Adding to the drama, we continue to hear more creaks, and then, uh-oh, and then we've got to hurry, as get a bit of gee. Sure, I'd imagine that's the creaking sound. Some very weird kind of onomatopoeia in the Japanese stuff, right? I guess it gets it across. That's like a creaking sound. Either way, yeah, it seems like we're right. Yu's going to need to drive, basically. Yeah, this is only trouble. This is only trouble right here, right now. That means the time has come for me to drive. Can you do it? I remember how, I think. I'll make you regret calling me garbage that only rides in the back. Wait, I never called you garbage? It's falling, you! Hurry! Here goes. You're reversing. Okay, she doesn't know how to drive at all. Yeah, so we have all the fucking rebar falling, and Yu reverses into it. Not a great first attempt, but we can improve from here. It's a pretty precarious place for her to be driving. Kind of look at this stuff here. It's pretty elevated, no? You just had to injure yourself in a place this unstable, huh? The path's narrow too. Drive slow, okay? Nice and slow. I probably got hurt because the place is so unstable, though. Will this heal up okay? I don't know. I'm going to think it would because, you shouldn't die of something like that in a show like this, or a piece of media like this now. As long as you just stay alive, injuries will heal sooner or later. It's a very easy way of looking at it, yeah. But carefree, fits Yu's character. As long as your driving doesn't kill us both. Ow! I'm imagining that you would have bumped into something, correct? Watch where you're driving. You'd imagine this is some kind of gomen. Ah, what's that? I said watch where you're driving. You're not allowed to, look around. Eyes on the road. It's very important. Oh, we come across these machine-like things every once in a while. Yeah, it looks like a big-ass fucking machine, right? One of those ones on... Remember the ones on the 4 legs from the flashback? Yeah, maybe it's one of those. It looks like it's not moving, though. Did it stop? We're continuing to trot along here. Chi-chan! A machine? Question mark? Bated breath. Oh, we do have a machine coming towards us. Moving towards us. Making a gasha. Oh, can't skip page yet. So it's blocking the path, basically, and we can't pass around it. Excuse me, move, please. And yeah, it seemingly has a very similar design to the machines we've seen in the past. Just kind of this one eye thing going on. Kind of like that really thin head. You know what I'm saying. No good, huh? Noda. Noda? I'm imagining a Noda, like you're making fun of her. Back up. There's a pathway behind us on our left. Turning while backing up? Oh no, she's me while learning to drive. Yeah, when I was learning to drive, I backed into my sister's car. Not a good day. Not a good day, I'll tell you that right now. Turns out when you're backing up, you're supposed to turn the opposite way, and that'll make the car go the way you want it to go. Just a heads up for anybody that needs a driving lesson. Again, very tactile. We see the reversing here. Oh, we kind of reverse into it. Well, that's not going to work. I thought we were going to drive down it, and this would be the maneuver you would do if you wanted to go further down this path. We get a gathak from the machine. You would imagine it's continuing to move. Maybe it's like a Roomba and doesn't move until it's got space to move. Oh yeah, we're just kind of letting it pass. Oh, but yeah, you don't keep reversing. That's bad. Don't do that. Yeah, we ran into one of the poles, right? And it's very weak. It's very unstable. So this could spell disaster. This could make everything come falling down. Most certainly does. Yeah, shit's going fucking pretty poorly for Yu's first attempt at driving. Maybe don't let her anywhere near the vehicle again. Yeah, we seemingly got a bit of a domino thing going on here. Gone, gone, gone. All these pillars falling over into each other. Almost seem like they're holding up a highway. Almost, those kind of things. Yeah. Oh, is she going to double down? Okay. Stop, break, break. We want her to stop. Determination look in Yu's eye. Hey! She's still looking determined. She's going to try to speed past it instead of braking, you would imagine. Again, braking's probably a bad move too, because it's going to hit the path and make your day worse. Oh yeah, look at her. She's cool. Okay, so she's twisting the throttle, and then we're going to pass past this thing. Again, still looks like a big pillar of some kind, nothing else really specific. Before vreeing up this hill, there seems to be a bit of a crack here that we're going to need to attack with some force as well. There's a pretty epic action scene. Yeah, we've made that jump kind of from here, where there's the snap, right? We've kind of ramped up off of it as it's falling over to this side and landed seemingly safely, at least for now. Landing with a loud thud. Chi obviously not too happy about it either. Oh, this thing can really move. Well, don't push it. It's dangerous. Yeah, I mean, risk happy. What's the word? You're risk averse. What's the opposite? You seek risk. you really like that kind of thing, right? Like, anyway, and sweating, partially from the injury, partially from the emotional circumstance. Well, seemingly we stopped for now because we've got out a shovel and we're digging, right? With a gashar. This looks like a shovel to me. I got ice. Oh yeah, for our injury, we're going to ice it up. That'd be a good thing to do. I'm exhausted, even though you're only riding in the back. Yeah, driving is way better. I have a friend like this. Cannot drive passenger. Always needs to be driving. It's good for me, right? Because I'm not... I can drive, but I don't, seek it out. So if they want to drive, they can. But yeah, it's a control thing, right? It's not liking not being in control of where you're going, especially when you're going 100 kilometers an hour down the road. You'd imagine the ice here is for the injury that we promptly put on her face, and it's very cold. You need to ice your ankle, right? I'll do it for you. Also elevate it, don't, take your weight off it. Give it some time and you'll be all right. You'll be good as new. Don't take your shoe off. They're doing all the right things. She thanks you. It's that helping each other thingy. What is that in reference to? Helping each other. It's nice and cool, but you don't need to drive again. Ever. I thought I was pretty good at it. Just don't. As we continue to look on this scape, which is pretty, still pretty wibbly wobbly. It's not very secure. So yeah, and that's the end of that chapter. Chapter 34, Injury. It was pretty good. I thought it was more funny than anything else. We're yet to see anything really taking a really plot grip on anything. This would be episode 13 right now would have consisted of that little part about the water and this part about jumping a ramp. So I don't know if that's a particularly good episode. This little part here at the end, gonna take a break until the pain subsides. Huh? There? Is she kind of inside one of the pipes? I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed not to hurt her ankle anymore. We've had random shit just falling everywhere for the time being, so maybe that's wise. Draw me like one of your French girls, says you to Chi. Little bit of a painting, a little bit of an art twist, maybe. What's that chapter called? Art. That would be it. Is this referential? This almost looks like a fucking film reel or something. That's a bit mad. Is this the most naked we've seen a character too? Outside of a bath? Maybe? I don't know. Promiscuous stuff. Pretty lewd. I don't know. We're trotting along. Chi-chan, do you see that? Yeah. What do we see? There's seemingly something in the distance over here. We're both looking at it and we've come close to something. It looks like a big old mirror maybe? Oh, this is our first big spread double page thing. Are we going to individualize the pages? No, it doesn't seem like it. Listen, post me, put in the image here, and then we can just do it like that. That's just way easier, right? If I do this and then just put in the damn image, that's way easier than me resizing something. Okay, it seems like a big long building where we kind of take our footsteps in, we lock through, and we say people. This would seem to be some kind of gallery, and from this shot here, and I'll bring the thingo back up, it seems like we're doing statues, right? Statues of people. A real humanist theme. The depiction of the human form. Lots of things to have a look at here. Of course, they've probably never seen a statue before. Well, they've seen statues of the freaking mushroom people angel things. There's lots of statues of them all over the place. But not like a statue of a person, not like a fucking, Michelangelo-ass statue. And they kind of look like real people. Your classic statue, kind of no real hands going on. Hands are pretty hard to carve. I thought they were big people. Yeah, the size is pretty mad kind of relative. That'd be too big. That would have to be giants or something. What in the world is this place? there were statues in that temple place we saw before, but these feel a little different than those god statues. These letters could be explanations, not that I can read them. If you can't read that, or if you can't read it, does that mean the ancient people made them? Probably. Yeah, it's not the Japanese language. If I have a little bit of a look here, August something, a 19th century considered the modern sculpture. You can fill in the blanks there, but it's in English. Oh, with a little bit of Japanese up the top as well. Weird. I wonder if this has been drawn or if this is the original. Going through an art gallery is a fantastic decision for this kind of piece of media to do. So I'm happy we're doing that. That sounds good. Also, it turns out that this is like caning my voice. We might stop at page 100 or something and do 3 of these because this is like killing me. I'm kind of just talking constantly. Again, we'll see how we go. If we get onto something a little bit more meaty, then we'll see. Or maybe wherever a chapter break is in there. Cool, so we see some paintings. Apparently this one in particular looks super old. Venus de Milo? Now, Venus de Milo is the statue. I know that from The Simpsons. This is The Birth of Venus, which is a very famous piece of art. You'd imagine it's the same. It's pretty similar construction wise. It's actually really interesting to see kind of this art style adapted to something that's a classic piece of art, right? Well, the people of old naked. No, you gotta understand there's some kind of artistic tinge to it. It's meant to be depicting a god, right? In the most natural form and her birth, probably. And again, this is just me spitballing. I haven't even really looked about the origins of the piece of art. This is what makes art interesting, is context, right? Is having discussions about what the expectations were of the time and why was this revered and all that kind of stuff. That's all culture talk. Remember that chapter about culture? But of course, you is the one with the misunderstanding. Not really naked the whole time, no. See, they were clothed in this one. Probably another piece, but I can't tell you off the top of my head. Were they planting a bunch of trees? This one here looks like that very famous... No, it isn't. No, never mind. You know the one where they're by the riverbank? Yeah, it looked like that one, but not quite. This one's just a landscape, has a bunch of trees. If I remember right, you do this by dabbing with paintbrushes. It's so incredible. Of course, she would be enraptured with the process of art. That just fits with her character. Here we go. But if you're trying to show the landscape, wouldn't it be better just to take a photograph with a camera? Is art always trying to be photorealistic? Is it always trying to depict the truth to how our eye sees it? Or is there some kind of artistic license to how it is made, to the process in which it was created, to the placement of potentially these panels in this manga, evoking an emotion, right? So from here to here, this flows very naturally. But from here, this is one we have to think about, right? This is probably a pertinent point, considering it's like a whole box at the bottom of the page. I wonder if placement and construction in art and how you draw it, much like how you say something, is artful, is created of meaning, or is creating meaning. Trying to sound smart, end up sounding dumb. Yes is the answer to all my, pompous, insinuating rhetorical questions. Why is reading a book better than somebody telling you a plot synopsis, right? Its construction is important. Again, is this the direction we're going to go with this chapter? Most probably. They show all types of landscapes that weren't in our camera. It could be things, or how things looked before the invention of cameras. Also true. Like, if we're talking about the birth of Venus, right? That's something you can never take a photo of. But also, cameras weren't invented. They kind of had to do that, right? Here we bring it up, right? Then what about this one? Clearly they had cameras. It has a camera in it. Then why didn't they just use the camera to take a photo of the camera, right? Bit of cameraception. It's hard to say. I don't know much about art either, only the illustrations I've seen in books. Well, there are a lot of these confusing pictures too. Bit of abstract art, potentially. And in this area, I don't even know if they're still pictures or what. They're up on walls, so there probably are proper pictures. Potentially some very abstract art. Very cool. What about this one that's just a picture of darkness? We're going to talk about some weird, super abstract art to the point where it's challenging the concept of art itself? Weird. Why is this toilet urinal? Why was that very famous? Why did that sell for a ton of money, right? It's just a urinal. Again, context matters, and challenging convention matters, right? I think staring at pictures like this is making me feel funny. Are you hungry or something? I'm always hungry. Very true. Oh, here we go. Is this going to be the big reveal? Chi-chan, what? Look at this, it's fallen over, and apparently it's a giant pitcher. And the wire probably snapped, correct. I can't quite lift it on my own. Maybe with the two of us then? Nope, still too heavy. Interesting. I thought that would be a moment where we would lift that up and that would change their perception on art. It'd be something so breathtakingly beautiful that they would need to actually try to understand the concept a little bit more. But curiosity is getting the better of you here. Now I really want to see it, whatever it takes. What kind of picture could it be? If we had some sort of tool to work with, let's look around a little. I have to admit, I'm curious to know what kind of picture would be this big as well. It's interesting that the size of the canvas is what's drawing their attention, right? Just because it's big, we have to see what they drew that was really big. These few panels down the bottom, we're just kind of looking around for some kind of tool to pick this up, you would imagine. Oh, eureka! You would imagine that you found this ladder, Cheese found a bit of wire. If we have these, the fittings are sturdy, so we'll thread the wire through them, and then through the ones on the wall too, and then thread it up through the ceiling and kind of get a pulley system going where we can lift the painting up and see what's on the front. We're hanging the piece of art back up in the gallery that no one's ever going to see ever again. A kind of art gallery, a gallery full of art that is never going to be seen by humans ever again. It's never going to affect their emotions of this race of beings ever again. That's kind of interesting too. Oh, this is actually very clever. Again, tactile, right? I understand completely what they're doing right now in a very limited set of frames, right? We don't need a ton of images of it, right? Like they're threading it through each of these, and then if you pull it here, it's going to spread that force out and be able to lift this up a bit easier. Especially if you probably have two people pulling. Oh, and one person pushing maybe. And yeah, apparently now we could see the giant picture. Is this an indicator of what the giant picture's gonna look like? Oh, we're doing the thing again. Hang on. Yeah, put the image up on the screen. Hey, what do you think? I think those are people drawn on it, though there are ones that don't seem like people too. But something about it. It feels scary, doesn't it? Yeah, and sad. A scary, sad picture that could probably use some color, if I'm honest. Again, abstractions of the human form, chaos, right? Lines going everywhere, different points of focus all over the place. Like lots of different depictions of humans. And sad is an interesting emotion for it. I would say it looks cool more than anything, right? Looks chaotic. It looks like there's one figure stuck in the middle of a changing world, one where nobody else looks like the one in the middle, which looks like a girl somewhat. Ton of structures that look like kind of like power lines, big old circles, suns, celestial bodies. Lots of different ways you could take this. I don't even know how to talk about the kind of figure on the right here. Chi-chan, can I borrow a pen and paper? Hey yo, the U art arc is coming. She's becoming an artist. Using a camera lets you show the real way things look. But I think maybe they expressed feelings like fear and happiness with lines and colors and stuff. Feelings, huh? Whoa. Oh, also I gotta put it up on screen for you guys. Apologies. There we go, we're back. So yeah, colors and shapes and stuff, they express feeling. Remember looking at that red sunset and it was very evocative? Did the different light waves produce feeling in humans? Right? Different sound waves? Remember the sad music? They were singing a sad song when those mushroom people were ascending? Right? Like, potentially in that same way, we're combining those forces, right, that influence human perception and creating art out of it, creating something that influences and moves people. And now Yu is going to become like an outsider artist. She's going to draw something which is her feelings right now. If I can skip to the next thing. There we go. Oh my god, is this the fucking thing from 2001? Yeah, the monolith. Is this the monolith? I wonder if what we feel from looking at the art is really what the people of old felt. I think potentially one person, maybe. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Art is completely based on your interpretation, right? Death of the author and all that, right? Like, whatever you take from it is what you take from it. It's the most subjective, open view of art that you can have, and it's very, very close to my view. Of course, there's some art that I think is bad, but that's just my personal opinion on it. If somebody else thinks it's fantastic, then that, more power to them. I mean, a lot of things are different since then. If that's what came across to you, then it's probably what they meant you to feel. Not entirely the case, but that doesn't matter. That art now exists separately for you. Pardon the pun. If we're sharing the same feelings as people of the distant past, people who wore different clothes and ate different things, that would be something absolutely amazing and worth preserving. It's very, very cool that this got preserved all this time. And apparently we're going to get a look at whatever the hell you drew. I drew how I feel. I'm sure it's I'm hungry or something. How'd you know? I'd imagine this is it here. A very crude drawing of you with a very big fish and looking happy. Chi in the back, looking pretty chuffed as well. And hanging it up in the gallery next to whatever the hell else we have going on. Even signing it here up the top with a Yuri. But you know this could end up being humanity's last piece of art. You might be right about that. And then, okay, so we've got like some fucking cave paintings over here, right? Potentially, again, I'd need to look this up, but this is like maybe the first piece of art found by humans, contrasted with the last. Both kind of about food? Hey, yo. Because I'd imagine they would eat the buffalo or deer or whatever this is. It's fucking cool. Sure. That chapter was a banger. I really liked that one. And yeah, the little last thing here. Are you going to put something up before we go, Chi-chan? Mine are just journal sketches. Not really much of an artist. She did a little bit of, doodling of some stuff, but more in a, anthropological sense, right? Recording it for posterity instead of artistic, you know. She could have used the camera, is my point. Oh, are we going to do something with fashion now in a very similar way? Because we have both Chi and Yu found some Victorian-style clothes? Maybe too far. These could be used in like the 50s. But they're older style clothes, right? It's not like they're wearing like fucking denim jeans and a t-shirt, right? Yeah, chapter 36, clothing. And it seems like, yeah, if we're at 63 now, like a couple more chapters should just about do us, I think. That'll kind of match our pacing too, because that'll almost be 2 episodes, right? Because we've done 3 chapters. Yeah, we would have done 5. It's almost like 2 episodes, sure. Again, one of the things I really liked about the TV anime as well, we don't forget things. So the pain's mostly gone too. So we have Chi stretching out her leg, her injury, right? Like, good, it's getting fixed, it's healing, right? We're showing some kind of consequence to the actions of previous scenes. The human body is amazing, isn't it? It fixes up good as new. Well, if you get enough nutrients and stuff into it and drink lots of water and, do the healing procedure things correctly, it could do wonders. It's very good. You said it. Maybe I'll get off and stretch too. Oh, and then we rip our clothes. Big old rip in the back of the jumper. I thought it was the butt, but not quite. Clothes don't fix themselves, so they get more and more tattered, don't they? Well, it's not like a living thing. It can't heal itself. We give Chi time to pause and think here. Maybe this city's the same. It won't heal on its own. This part is still pretty intact. That's rare for this area. Very cool. I can't really see our ditch much anymore, but there's a high figure in the distance here. Potentially this is the lift that the mushroom people were alluding to at some point. Hey, I've been thinking. What? How about not wearing clothes? Hey, yo, maybe they were gay this whole time after all. Sounds like something somebody that's gay would say. Anyway, jokes aside, no, it's too cold. And that's the correct answer. Clothes they're not just for modesty or some semblance of it. Therefore, there's utility to wearing clothes, especially like an army-esque uniform like this. No, listen, so like we would grow our hair out super long, hair's warm and it grows forever, right? Some kind of fucking cave person? Revert back to monkey? What's going on here? That's creepy and it would make it hard to move around too. So that's a no, huh? Or potentially we find the titular clothing of this chapter. Chi-chan, look at that. That bright tower? Potentially the bright tower is what we're going towards. No, lower. Lower. Oh, we found a water fountain. It wasn't even the clothing that I thought it was. Okay. It's weird. Seemingly like in a bit of a weird like pool of water and just some water coming out of it. Awesome, a water fountain. Lucky finds. Look like this is going to be one of those days. What day? Laundry day. Oh, we're back. Okay, good. Well, that's one way to get your kid off. I thought it would be a very similar thing where we were going to be trying on clothes and finding clothes and blah, 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 blah. But no. Like, we just had that chapter with art. We can't really do the same thing twice. And there aren't many places we can afford to use water like this. We've got to wash the clothes once in a while. It's not play in the water day. Yeah, she got her kid off and she's playing in the water, which seemingly happens every single time we try to do this with you. So, you know, we can play in the water and do laundry at the same time. You just got to, you know, carry the clothes with you and kind of play with them. Also, aren't you cold in there? It's not that cold, just lukewarm. I think it's warmer inside the foundation. Weird. Why is the water warm? But you're right about the clothes. They're pretty tattered. Not that we have anything to fix them with. Will we stop being able to wear our clothes first, or will we die first? It's a morbid question. I honestly could not tell you. Oh, we're doing the thing. Okay. So Chi says, hurry up and help me. And then, yeah, we're squirting water. So doing the thing with your hands where you like squirt water. I used to be really good at it, but I haven't been in the water in ages, actually. Just don't really get in the water that much. Oh, no, she's not doing that. She's like cupping the fountain, right? And like shooting it in different directions. Okay. Cover the water jet like this and it squirts. Yeah, okay. It's like like the spas. You can like hold one spa and make another spa shoot out really fast. It's kind of like that. It seems like we're going to do a bit of a play fight where Cheese eventually going to get pulled into the water. Little smirk from you as well, which we like. Well, this is cool too. I love this effect up here. Makes it look like they're falling through the water, which is exactly what they're doing. That's what it's supposed to do. Like most of these things, initially upset, but then get to playing before having a great time. Is you, a bit of a sourpuss until actually tries it, and it's a lot of fun. Clothes flying everywhere, water flying everywhere. We're all just having a good time. Again, another one that could really use some color, but I love their happy faces. I like to see them having a good time. Again, the world might be fucking ending. Everything might suck, right? There might not be meaning to anything, but there are nice things sometimes. Like this. That's nice. Achoo! A sneeze, if you didn't know. Now we have nothing to dry to wear. Okay, so it's a bit cold once you get out of the water. The solution there is to then just stay in the water, right? Yeah, it really is colder when you're wet, isn't it? No sun here either. Guess we'll have no choice but to grow our hair out after all. That would take too long. I know, back in that building there was lots of cloth. Okay, so they're going to wrap themselves up like a big towel, right? They're going to wrap themselves up and make sure they're nice and snug in there. So all snug up like this, it's warm but we can't move and there's still laundry to hang up and dry. Then what about it? We just cut the cloth to the right size. Do we have anything to hold it together? Maybe wire. Oh, cute. Okay, so yeah, this is more like first human stuff, right? So we found like a piece of material or something that can be fashioned like it, and we're manipulating it to be fashion. That's cool. Like, this looks like a very classic, like, old wanderer robe, and this is like a toga, right? Cover up, fasten it together. I can move like this, but I can't get my left hand out, though. Weren't there also people dressed like this in the pictures at the place we went before? Yeah, specifically all those depicting ancient people, right? They were wearing, like, togas and robes and stuff. In that case, we'll get a little bit more creative. We'll make a hole for the head like this and put it on or through with a string, tie it up with a string. Oh, okay. Yeah, it actually does look like real clothes. And it's even warmer if you layer it. Now it will be warm enough to keep doing our clothes until they dry. Wait, pour fuel on leftover cloth and burn it? This is honestly the warmest. Don't burn your clothes, that's bad. Don't do that. It will make it warm, but not for a very long period. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a fire going to help dry the clothes quicker. Gotcha. Is this what it was like for people who first thought up clothes too? Can't say. I don't think anybody can, but sure. That must have been really incredibly long time ago, or an incredibly long time ago, yeah. I can't even imagine it. But I feel like I've read about them somewhere. About the people from long, long, long ago. I guess there weren't cities or houses yet, so they lived in holes. Holes? Yes, holes. I don't know what kind of holes, though. Cave people? Cavemen? And women? I mean, yeah, that would track. They didn't really build structures yet. The way I understand it anyway, I'm not really again, anthropologist. They made their own clothes, gathered their own food, and built bonfires. That's how they got by. Kinda sounds like us. Ah. Again, kind of like the end of the art chapter we just saw before, kind of conflating the trials and tribulations of Chi and Yu right here, right now, with that of ancient people, right? Interesting thematic direction, right? Linking the start of humanity to its potential end. You would think its end, right? That's the end of the chapter here. Fasten a gear to the cloth, and with that we have a button. Do you need that? I mean, not really, but it's nice to look good. It's nice to try on different kinds of clothes and see what you can do. Oh my god, is she fucking smoking? What is this? They're smoking on that mid pack. Hey yo, and the smoke's turning into some of these fucking mushroom dudes. Hey yo. This is the fucking most lit piece of art I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, this is chapter 37, everybody. Cigarettes. Oh my god, they're gonna be smoking on them cigarettes. Really? Cigarettes made it? I guess they don't. Do cigarettes go out of date? Again, I'm not a smoker, so I don't know. Okay, what am I looking at? It's a weird mismatch, weird abstract world of pipes and cubes and stuff. We take like one step onto it, and then we look. You is looking at something. Is there really an afterlife? It's a pretty deep thought for just, the start of a chapter. What brought that up? Oh, I was just thinking, and then, yeah, if I don't skip ahead, we have some kind of something cracked, and she starts to fall, where she has to jump off, and do we lose something here? What's this? Maybe that's something just still falling. Okay, so after this harrowing escape, we still continue to ask the question about the afterlife. Just maybe give it a second to see if we're all okay. I don't want to talk about that right now. Gone, gosh. That's been another connection. This kind of strata seems all fucking wibbly wobbly and weird. No one knows what happens after you die, but there are a lot of books that have something to say about it. Yeah, like the Bible. It's got a lot to say about it. Of course, we've discussed the concept of the afterlife before as well. If it's this cold, dark, unloving thing where you're all alone, or potentially, if you believe in, again, higher power, there is some further place there where you can be with the people you care about, and it's like a paradise. So, which is nicer to believe, right? Especially in a post-apocalypse. So I think a lot of people must have believed in a life after death. Yes, a very common thread through humanity all around the world. Yes, very much so. Because we're familiar with life. I'm alive right now. And we're familiar with death because, again, you would know some people who have died. So you become fascinated with what happened to them. They just became corpse. What happened to the them that's them? All right, I think Yu's kind of losing interest here and kind of looks out over here. Listen. So yeah, actually like explaining the concept of an afterlife, and then she just gets kind of bored. Okay, gotcha. Again, this weird upside down world that doesn't make any sense. So this is gravity, right? This is like a wall, but almost if you turn your head the other way, this looks like the floor, no? And then she's at a weird angle. Yeah, weird. It's almost like an Escher painting, no? Just while we're discussing, really heady concepts, we're all tipsy-topsy or all topsy-turvy, right? Yeah, you continue to be really curious, come on, and then apologizing. So what were we talking about? Just kidding, I'm pulling your leg. And then, yeah, big old poke with the stick. Because you were the one that brought up the concept in the first place, as I was, dying. So you're being like a troll right now. Again, this is just great faces, too. Again, a lot with a little, tactile. You understand exactly what's going on. It's very clear. It's very clear manga. And again, as I've said, it seems like a dream to animate. It seems like it's very obvious the direction everything's going. I can create the anime episode in my own head right now. So, when you die, you can't use your body anymore. So your soul or something comes out of it, right? I'm sure that's written that way in a lot of places. We're unsure if it's true or not. That's kind of the basis of what we have going on there, right? You would like to believe it's true, that if you're a good soul, you pass off into some kind of heaven, right? That'd be nice. Yeah, where did the cigarettes come into this? Because I saw this. This reminded me of the cigarettes. It'd have to come through your mouth, though, right? Your soul? Then, a little U face on it. Again, weirdly enough, this looks like the statues, looks like those depictions of God, looks like the mushroom people that have broadly been associated with angels. There's lots going on there. There's lots to piece together. Don't let it out's good too, like she's actually going to let out her soul. You probably aren't able to see them though. So I was thinking, if there's no such thing as the next world, and all the souls of the dead are still in this one, then what? Then the space around us could be flooded with invisible souls too. Ooh. Ghosts. Probably not, no. And they're all having an invisible party together. I don't think they're having a party. But yeah, again, this is exactly something that the character in the anime, would say. This is great. I don't think they're having an invisible party without you. But you, all the people who have ever died, that's a lot of people. This world would be packed tight. And wouldn't it be cool if you could talk to the souls of the dead sometimes? Chi, I don't want to talk to them. I'm with Chi on this one. We're seemingly continuing to elevate as well. I haven't really discussed the location here, really. We're just still making our way towards that lift, probably. If I had to guess, that's probably the end of this volume. Okay, so we break our way in, we creak in. What is this place? Ah, Chi-chan, look! Plants. They don't seem like they're very alive, based on this little sketch down here, but sure. Yeah, they're completely withered away. We can't eat these. She tries, though. It's not very yummy. And then has to drink some water as a result. Yum water. I agree. I could use some water as well. My throat's getting kind of scratchy. Again, you talk way more in these. Way more. Did they go out of their way to put up buildings like this in order to grow plants? Yeah, like a big old, like there's tower farms as well that they were talking about, and like, just greenhouses in general. That's a building used to make plants. Again, there's not a lot of soil if you're this high up, right? Like after we came out of our way to climb all the way up here, it'd be suck if only withered plants, right? Or there's only withered plants. I interpreted all the way up here as like the whole journey. No, they just mean like climbing like this section. But yeah, that wouldn't be anything new, climbing up something and then seeing not what you wanted at the top. Okay, we seemingly have come to some kind of break room or bar or something, looking at these stalls. That tracks, right? Some kind of bar. Oh, so she spies them, picks them up. Yu asks, what's that? Cigarettes. Come to think of it, Kanazawa smoked these too. Yeah, no, he did. Remember? Because the reason they knew that somebody was around is because there was a smoking cigarette. Of course. Okay, so they would be cognizant of the concept, right? Oh, and then we have the bad influence Yu trying a cigarette. How scandalous. You're supposed to light them, right? Right, then you inhale the smoke. And then they're both chuffing. They're both chuffing hard right here, right now. Yeah, look at this weird, like, layer building. It's almost like a fucking play place or something. Looks kind of crazy. Okay, so then they inhale, and then as most people do when they have their first cigarette, they cough because it's kind of crazy. I think Grandpa used to smoke these too. Memories of Grandpa. Do people think this tastes good? Well, it's got addictive qualities, don't you know? so again, don't make a habit of it. At least try not to. I'm not judging anybody, but again, not for me. Look at this, Chi-chan. It's a photo. The people who lived here, maybe? Oh, interesting. So we found a photo, like, kind of just in the wild. And what do they mean by the people that lived here? The people that lived here in the post-apocalypse or before the world turned to shit? I do not know. Yeah, no, this segment's actually pretty cool because now I'm realizing the construction of the building, right? So it's like a building built on top of an old building, and then we've got this, I'm guessing, survivor family, right? After the post-apocalypse, that these people were just kind of sticking together, and it didn't last out. Their plants ran out, right? Weird. It almost reminds me of some of the environmental storytelling in like a video game, something like Last of Us, right? Where you would come across these encampments or like old settlements and that kind of thing, and you would, read about it and kind of piece together what their lives may have been like. And then that really comes together with the last part with the cigarette smoke that we'll see here in a second as well, and the souls being manifested. Yeah, no, this actually fits together really well. I actually really like this last chapter here we see today. But all of these people are smoking. Hopefully not the child. That would be bad. And then, of course, we're doing... Okay, so that's our thing, right? We're linking now in the soul idea, the afterlife idea, with the smoke coming out of the cigarette. Which is ironic, because the smoking is killing you slowly. So it is kind of making your soul come out of yourself very, very slowly, if you wanted to look at it that way, in a very weird way, if I'm honest. But anyway, it's just smoke. Smoke. I like the smell. I like the smell after I've had a few beers. I'll give you that one. She's quick to adapt as always. I'm getting, yeah, she kind of already likes them. Gotcha. Blowing out that smoke going everywhere. Huh? But it kind of... Ooh, weird zoom there, sorry. I'm guessing it started to feel good, right? Okay, so if I go back here. It kind of... Yeah, it started to feel good. Sure. Yeah, she's getting, like, zonked up. Are these, like, laced? What is going on here? Who's that? Huh? I don't know. Hello? Hello. They're saying something. I wonder what they're talking about. And then random child comes and sits next to you. Have we met somewhere? No. Are these all, like, smoke people? Oh, like people having a party around us, like the souls of the people that are not in the afterlife but are around here somewhere, coming to life through the smoke. Interesting. That's what I'm reading this as anyway. I'd imagine each of these is a smoky visage and not they don't have as much like detail as the actual characters, right? Hey, is this reality? It's probably some kind of dream. You can't speak with the dead. Very true. But yeah, it's like this family of smokers, the people that used to live here. Because if I go back, you see this photo, right? Here, it's very much looks like these people, right? The people that used to live here, the people that are still like hanging around this space. But I think there's a way to connect to people who aren't here anymore. I mean, there's art and there's photos too, but you mean these cigarettes? No, even more amazing is probably the power of our own imaginations. Okay. Yeah, sure. I was thinking that the object itself links to memories of people as well, mementos, as we've talked about in the past. But the power of our own imaginations, yeah, kind of linked hallucinations more than anything else. But yeah, you would imagine that that's the end. Yeah, so that takes us to there, which seems like a bit of a flashback. 38, 39, 40? Yeah, this seems like a fantastic stopping point. Okay, this seems like a flashback. Holy fuck. That's very exciting. But yeah, this is the last little thing we'll do here today. I feel kind of sluggish. Maybe it's from the cigarettes. Maybe it's from the withdrawal of not having the cigarettes. Very cool. Cigarettes are very good for you, by the way. Anyway, we're stopping there. But I think I'm of the opinion that that went relatively well. So good. Okay, format seems pretty good. We're going to see about trying to upload the version with the image. If it shits the bed, it shits the bed. I'm guessing it'll get flagged straight away if it does by their content ID stuff. So, like, we will say you will either see this version or be watching it on BitChute or something, and I'll have just the little page number for people to follow along. But yeah, it went very well. So again, we explored a variety of different concepts here today, and now I can kind of go to that the kind of content screen as kind of a little bit of a reminder of what I saw. So Waterway, we followed that water down and, had a little discussion there and watched a fish can go and had to find the water before the fish and blah, 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 blah. Kind of linking water and fish and oh yeah, and also, okay, now thinking about that again, the very, very obvious thing we're doing there is that there's a picture of a fish on it, and it's a can where somebody used to live, almost like a coffin, and it's floating down the river. And what else is our city doing, right? It's a place where humans used to live. It's empty. It's discarded, right? What else are we beyond like cooked food in that sense, right? That's a very morbid way to look at it, but they're right. Okay, that one's kind of brilliant. I should just get this up, by the way. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Waterway, cool. Injury, she gets injured and we have to nurse her back to health. That one was pretty good. I liked it. The art one of the highlights for sure. Art and clothing, which two very good ones, and almost linked in a way in kind of the linking between the old humanity. Can I speak? Like the first humans and the last humans, which are Chi and Yu. And then cigarettes was a very, very interesting one about imagination, about afterlife, about souls, about cigarettes, about smoky visages. I thought it was very good as well. Reading through this now, we're expecting Explosion, Oblivion, and Hometown to all be somewhat connected. So yeah, looking forward to continuing from there next week. I'd imagine you would do this and then maybe 3 more next volume and then finish it off in another video. So yeah, I'm splitting this into 3, which may be kind of but again, you got to do what you got to do. But overall, yeah, I think this did go well, and the content continues to still be really good. So shout outs to that. The manga itself, just a joy to read. Again, as I said, very easy to tell what's going on and when, who's talking to who. Again, there's only 2 characters, so it's pretty easy, right? It's pretty easy to interpret who is saying what if the speech bubbles don't already tell you. And I'm hoping that was the official translation. I didn't see any real foibles anywhere. I thought it was the pretty good idea of everything going on. I thought all the external text was translated really well as well, like Sakana and all the stuff in the art museum as well. So shout outs to that. And yeah, we'll return next week and do some more stuff. probably just some chill stuff, and then I'll skedaddle. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to... Oh, episode? I can't say that anymore. Anything you thought about the chapters we read here today, you should comment on the video. I think that would be cool. Follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Tell me all sorts of weird manga stuff that I missed, which I'm sure there's a ton, because again, I'm not as versed in it as the anime stuff, right? Especially from a production point of view. So if you got any tidbits, then Discord's the way to do it. And I'll be saying goodbye for now. I'll see you next week for more Girls Last Tour anime goodness. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to this, considering how much fun this was here today. So yeah, I'll catch you guys then. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Bye-bye.